So I'm going to join the conversation of why African American men begin to date Caucasian women, and why African American women may be upset about that. First off, I just want to say that I am pro-choice. If that's what you choose to do, then you do you. I often have conversations with all type of men, black men, white men, just a conversation, just so I can understand how they think or just get their perspective on things. So what they say is black women nag, they are ratchet, they want to argue, and a man just wants to lay his hat where he find peace. That means he just wants to be in a peaceful place. But some African American women said, "You don't bring no peace to my household, so why would I give you peace?" Makes sense to me. So with us all being said, it is per the individual, it's pro your choices. I would date a Caucasian man. I would date a Hispanic man. I will date whoever brings me happiness and whoever treat me right. It ain't about race to me. I just think it upsets African American women when we see an African American man turn to a Caucasian woman. Why? If she, as a white woman, is making him happy, fulfilling his needs, all that, then I'm happy for this African American man. So it would make you want to turn and look in the mirror to see what are you doing wrong as to how you cannot please this man. And the same thing is if an African American man came at me about dating a Caucasian man, this man is making me happy. He's fulfilling my needs and he is treating me right. So it makes you look in the mirror to see what were you doing wrong to where you couldn't keep me happy like he did. It's all about self-reflection in my mind. Yes, a man wants to be treated right. Yes, he wants to be wherever he find peace, but he may not bring peace to your household. So therefore, as a woman, you feel as if I don't need to bring peace to him because he ain't bringing peace to me. I haven't seen you in a week and a half, but yet when you come around, you think that everything gonna be all good. The woman looking at you like, hell no, it ain't all good. I was sick, worried about you for a week and a half, and here you are walking in the door, living easy, breathing easy. Did the man ever consider the woman in that moment? Probably not. He was out doing him. So to conclude, I'm not against an African American man being with a Caucasian woman. I'm not against an African American woman being with a Caucasian man. I want you all to do whatever brings you peace and whatever brings you joy. Because I know that's exactly what I would do if I was in that situation.
So I know we always talk about black men being in relationship with white women for like social status and whatnot, but let me speak about it from the perspective of like conflict avoidance. So just know this, as a black man in a relationship, you don't have to address the trauma that you went through with your black mother when you're in a relationship with a white woman. Because anytime that this white woman makes you angry, you can simply just blame it on racism. Like, that's what you out here forgetting. You can't blame a black woman waking up the insecurities inside yourself. You cannot blame that on racism. You then turn to blame them with the internalized misogyny that you have because you have not found a healthy way to receive criticism or to take care of what goes on the inside. Because you're told in this patriarchal system, you as a man are just right and logical, and everybody else is just not able to handle how logic you are. So in having these conflicts with black women, we have to not only address the conflict that is at hand, we have to address what is making us insecure on the inside. We have to address our relationship with black women, period, which the relationship came from our black mother and then the black women that we are happen to be in community with around us. And then we also have to unlearn all of the social anti-blackness and misogynistic ideology to hope that the direction we are growing into does not complement a space to hate people for who they are and how they express themselves. Do you know how much work that is? And imagine having to do that every single time you get into a conflict or every single time you feel uneasy. Mind you, I'm not saying that this is difficult as a means to say we shouldn't do it. I'm saying that imagine how much deeper and realer and more like intense our relationships get when we are willing to humble ourselves as black men, to see our black women as human beings, to fight through the struggle that is understanding each other, and because we know we can come together and build something infinitely spectacular, rather than selling ourselves short for a situation or relationship that's easier and reinforces a version of ourselves that we want to see, rather than being forced to accept the reality of who we are and how that negatively impacts people that we say we love. And this is why I'll forever say, black women, finding a healthy community of black women and of just women, period, and expanding from that to allow yourself to engage with certain types of men or just other non-women type people, I think that's going to be a very, very successful business plan, if you want to call it, for the next coming decades. This is in lieu of understanding. I think I actually used all those words wrong. But this is in lieu of the rise in single, lonely, depressed, emotionally suppressed men out there, and how they are going to feel in their patriarchal entitlement. Women need to craft themselves or carve themselves into something that can be more easily digestible by men, rather than men figuring out what the fuck is wrong with their appetite so they can become of some kind of value that is able to not only consume but to complement the fullness, the infinite energy that women have to exist in this world. And that's something that patriarchy doesn't allow you to have. It doesn't allow you to see women as autonomous beings that can not only be awakened of their own power, but they can utilize that power, and in their own self-interest, they can help us too and other non-women beings with their infinity of power. And then we as men can have something worth protecting, rather than just protecting our own insecurities and ego, because women are changing to become something they were always destined to be, and we refuse to change into the men that we were always supposed to become.
Hi guys, my name is Olivia. Welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about this idea floating around that black men choose white women because black women don't tolerate nonsense. First of all, that's not a compliment. It's a deflection. Now let me tell you something. Black women setting boundaries isn't nonsense. It's self-respect. The problem isn't that black women demand better. The problem is that too many people are uncomfortable, when black women, especially black women, refuses to shrink themselves to fit in someone's fragile ego. Now, let me tell you something. Love should be more about mutual respect, not picking whoever you think will let you go away with more of the things you do. If you agree that boundaries are not attitude, subscribe to our channel, give this video a thumbs up, share this video with someone that needs the reminder, okay? And drop your thoughts in the comment section.
Okay, y'all. I know this is like super random. Maybe it's off topic. Maybe it's not, because I keep seeing all this stuff coming down my timeline about like the stereotype of why black men prefer white women or like women of other races and stuff like that. And it's really that I think that, and this is I'm a black woman talking. Y'all. Please don't shoot me. But maybe, just maybe these white women or these mixed women or these women of other races do love black men better, or like in a better way than they claim that we do. But I feel like it also has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of them, not saying all of them, have been coddled or catered to their entire lives. And I should elaborate on that. Like they typically come from better homes where they did not have to play parent to their younger siblings, or they were giving a faster track through education. They didn't have to work as hard, didn't have to have jobs. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I mean by catered to. And often black women do not experience that. So by the time we're grown or whatever, we're at that age where it's time to be in a relationship, we want to experience that. And they're okay. A lot of times, like they say, like we're too emotional, like we make it about us, and they're okay putting their emotions and their feelings and everything that they have going on the back burner for this man, to love this man and be his support full out, and not really worry about themselves or complain as much as we do. And we never had that. So like, it's for us, it's like, oh, now's our time to shine, because that's what we're thinking. Like, oh, we did all this growing up, and so now, like, at this time we're supposed to, like, enjoy ourselves and be loved and be catered to and coddled to. And I think that a lot of people confuse that and think that, oh, that means like we're gold diggers, or we just don't care about black men as much, or we hate them. And it's really not that. Like, I swear to God, it's not that. It's literally, what do they say? Mama want a break too. And if these little girls or these other girls have had their break because they didn't have to play mama like we did our entire lives and such, we want the break that they had. We just want it now, when y'all, I guess, need all of the attention or the more. And I get it, like, black men are hurting too, but y'all literally forget that we are hurting as well. And sometimes we are hurting first, because what comes first, the chicken or the egg? If we gave birth to y'all, we put ourselves in pain in general just to raise a black man. Like, everything y'all going through, we're right there going through it with you. And the other races, they don't see that. They don't have to go through that. So it's really not the same. And I hate that a lot of black men don't get that. But I mean, I guess that's his life.
Do you have any preferences when you date?
Yeah, I do got a couple preferences.
Oh, okay. What's one of your preferences?
I only date white girls.
Okay. Can I ask why?
Oh, because black women are just...
No. You said that you like to date white women. So give me a reason why you'd like to date white women.
Because black women are loud and ghetto. Like, white women actually know when to shut up.
There it is again. You brought up black women again. Now tell me, why do you like to date white women exclusively without bringing up black women?
I don't understand. I'm telling you why I only date white women.
Yeah, but you're only bringing up harmful stereotypes about black women. So tell me, why do you only date white women?
Black women just do too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just do too much. They expect so much from you.
Oh my god, this is literally impossible. Okay, so are you okay whenever black women decide to date white men?
What? No, like, why would she want to date only white men? Like, what's wrong with us brothers?
But you just said that you prefer to date white women, so I'm confused. Who else are black women supposed to date?
Ugh, well, she can get with other black guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't prefer it, but I don't know why she would want to date some white guy.
Got it. So it's okay for you to do it, but it's not okay for her to do it. Completely makes sense.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you are a black woman and you know you have a good black man at home, you need to do what it takes to keep that black man. Because let me tell you something, there are not a lot of available good black men out here that are still interested in dating black women. So let me just hit you with some facts. Naturally, there are just more women on this earth than men, okay? We are outnumbering them. So then there's a large percentage of those black men that are incarcerated. There's another percentage of those men that are just into men. It's just the world that we live in. There's another percentage of those men that are already taken and married, and a lot of them are not marrying the black women. So when you do come across a black man that is single and good and actually willing to date a black woman, how do you ensure that he is actually desiring you and wants to commit to you? Okay, here's another fact. The number of black men who are marrying outside of their race has drastically increased, which simply just means they are not picking us. And that is a big concern for me. So you got to ask yourself, what is it about you that makes us less desirable? That is what we have to figure out, because the men do desire to be in a relationship. They're getting married and they're outnumbering us in marriages. They're just not picking us. So it's time to really figure out, how can I be different? What do I need to switch up to really get what I truly desire from this black man? Let's talk about it in the comments.
Right. I had a white best friend growing up. I went to an all girls Catholic school and I had a white best friend. I had multiple white best friends growing up. I didn't even know what racism was. But I started to notice, and obviously growing up, I've started to notice that white women are nicer to black men than they are to black women. I don't know why. I don't know what the issue is. But white women are extremely rude to black women, but they are so nice. They will do a lot for a black man. Like, white women are nicer to black men than they are to black women. I don't care. Like, you guys are gonna say, oh, da, 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 da. Like, I don't care, but it's the fact. It's facts. It's a fact. It's so true. Like, I'm not being racist. I'm not trying to do anything, but white women are literally nicer. And please, can you just stop? Just stop with the lies. Like, admit it. White women are literally nicer to black men than they. So true. Thank you, Holy Spirit. White women are nicer to black men than they are to black women.
So NBA legend Paul Pierce was asked his opinion on why NBA players date white women. And he said it's because white women appreciate more. They don't mind being held accountable, and they apologize more. And he laughed. Look, Paul Pierce, date who you want to date, man. That's your preference. But don't down the entire group of black women because you don't prefer them. You prefer somebody else. There are plenty of black women. I'm married to one. Been with her since 87. That will apologize. That's very, very appreciative. Don't mind being held accountable. And a lot of times won't even hold me accountable when I'm messing up big time. Being extremely supportive. I know plenty of black women like that. So it ain't funny for you to disparage and down talk and feed into these narratives about black women because you prefer not to date black women. That's your preference, dog. So you don't have to down black women to justify your prejudice, because that's prejudice against your own women, because you're prejudging all of them. And it ain't funny. The dude that's sitting up there with you is not funny. The black woman that's sitting up laughing with you is not funny. And I ain't gonna even lie, man. I try not to get my emotions too high when I'm making these videos, but I'm extremely pissed off for you to make a statement like that when it's extremely disrespectful and it's wrong. Them dudes do that because that's their preference. And it might not even be their exclusive preference. That just might be who they fall in love with and who they be with. That don't mean them dudes won't marry a black woman. They just didn't. Because they fell in love with somebody that ain't black. But most black women I know, most black women I've experienced in all of my 52 years of life are extremely appreciative, extremely respectful, extremely loyal, extremely supportive, extremely uplifting, extremely strong, extremely intelligent, extremely loving, and extremely caring. See, social media got people fooled because they like to show women acting up when that's not the majority of black women and black people. So I'm going to say, Paul Pierce, you a sucker for saying that, bro. You a sucker for saying that. And I have zero respect for it. Y'all just feel so comfortable taking shots at us. Taking shots at us. Won't take shots at nobody else, but y'all take shots at us. Because y'all feel like it ain't no repercussions behind it. We easy to take a shot at because, you know, the world just going to giggle and laugh with you. Man, that's weak. All praises to the Most High.
Hey there, family. How you doing? This is Thinking 'Cause Black, and today I want to talk to you about a topic that I've heard a few people actually speaking on. It is why black men decide to date white women. I have almost exclusively dated white women, but I didn't realize the reasons behind that until I got a bit older, into my 30s. So, reason number one, what is the available dating pool? For me, I went to a school that was predominantly white. And because of that, most of the women, or at the time girls, that I had to choose from were white. The second reason, more in common. Now, this is actually a false reason. Many black men believe that they have more in common with white women than they do with black women, because they may have experienced, as I did, black women who were not necessarily able to handle some aspects of their intelligence, some aspects of their hobbies, some aspects of their interests. Now, this is not to put blame on black women. This is to say that the black women that I was exposed to, and that many brothers are exposed to, especially when you're young, they're not possibly where you're at. And so that turns you off of black women, and you find that white women tend to have more of your interests, or at least look like they have more of your interest, and respect your intelligence more, or at least look like they do. And the reason why I say at least looks like is because I was talking with a white friend of mine who's a female, and she actually pointed out to me that a lot of white women feign interest in black intelligence, black interests, and black hobbies to get with black men. The reason they do this is because white women sometimes really just want a brown baby. They think they're cute. Now, it took me a while to actually see this, but I suspect it's more true than we'd like to admit. The third reason, again, it falls on interests. So I met about 6-7 years ago. I met a beautiful Kenyan woman, and her and I hit it off immediately. And so we were talking a little bit, and she asked me, what were my goals? And I was explaining to her, I always wanted to start my own business, have a family, but I was also interested in politics. And her response to me was actually quite surprising. She goes, why are so many black guys into politics? And I'm like, what? Have you seen this country? So it didn't end up working out with us. But those interests can end up creating separation between black men and black women. The fourth reason that I often dated white women, trauma. This is one of the biggest secrets that we typically do not talk about in the black community, and that is black men who have experienced trauma at the hands of black women. Now, sometimes this trauma is overt. Sometimes it's covert. Sometimes it's meant to scar you. Sometimes it's not. I mean, we all have shadows. But after doing some deep healing on myself, I discovered that a lot of the reasons why I was not going after black women, even when they were interested in me, was because of unhealed trauma that was caused by my sister, who is probably a bit bipolar. I had to heal that. And I remember after going through a process of healing, I was talking to a sister, and I said to her that, you have some of the most beautiful eyes that I've ever seen. They're not brown. There's little specks of color in them. And I realized something in the moment as I was talking with her and I was complimenting her, that might have been the first time that I complimented a sister and actually truthfully saw through just the surface level of the compliment. I felt something deeper. And that's when I realized that a lot of the problems that black men have with black women is because of old trauma. A lot of that trauma we don't even talk about. And just about all of it we don't talk about. Trauma with our mamas, our grandmamas, our sisters, the babysitter, our first love, whatever. Just like sisters have to talk about the trauma that they sustain from brothers, brothers have to talk about the trauma that they sustain from sisters. And we have to do it without feeling embarrassed by it, because it's a fact of who we are. And then the fifth reason, obviously, is because the society puts white beauty as the standard. Now, there is a sixth reason, and I was talking with a friend of mine, black woman, and she actually pointed this out because she is a person who, fasts, takes very good care of her body. And even though now I put on some weight, back in the day, her and I used to talk a lot about fasting, taking care of the body, yada, yada, yada. But I am getting back into that, by the way, just a hint. After having COVID kind of messed up the system. But she actually pointed out to me that she has counseled a number of her black female friends who were dating black men who were leading spiritual lives, and wanting those black women to join them in that spiritual life. But the black woman was being rejectful. She didn't want to do it because that meant changing. And she had to counsel them through that because they were about to chase some really good men out of their lives. And a couple of the people who she counseled actually got married. I'm hoping they're still together. I haven't asked for any updates or anything, but that's another thing. White women are more, at least mentally, again, this goes back to the interesting, more likely to adapt themselves to changes that brothers want them to make. At least that's how it appears. Let me know what you think about this, family. I know this is a hot button topic. This is Thinking 'Cause Black, y'all. Until the next one. Peace.